Godot signals, probably the easiest way to communicate with other scenes in your game. Access any function or variable in other scene scripts. They're just really easy to set up. Let's have a go now. First of all, let's start off with a 2D scene. Call it game. Give it a script. Take out the default and do no comments. Oh, excuse me. Create. And we will save that. Just to get it started, we will say that's what we're going to run at the beginning. Obviously nothing at the moment. Right, new scene, and this time they'll have a player. Give that a script. Player S for save. We also have enemy. And the script. Enemy. Save that. And finally, we do a heads up display one. And give that a script. Save that. So we've got one game scene and player, enemy, and HUD. Obviously, you wouldn't be just using these 2D nodes to do this in a proper game, but to demonstrate this, that's all we need. Now, the one drawback with just doing it a simple one like this, you do need to declare the player and the enemy first, and that is you need to preload them. Otherwise, Godot works so quickly that signals won't be detected. So if we do, what do we call it? Player equals preload. And simply drag. Oh, we don't need to even drag them in here because we've got them here. Drag that in there. And go to instance of that. Instance. And child player. And also the enemy one we want to do as well. Of course, you don't have to call them this, but it's a lot easier to see what you're doing if you give them sensible names. This time we can see it. Enemy C. Again. Instance of that. And child. Save that. And the HUD. So we'll just add that as an instance to the game itself. Oh, got to highlight the game properly, and then the HUD scene. Right. I think that's everything set up, so we'll just Save all scenes. Okay, so let's start off with the simple bits. Let's see now, player, enemy. Okay, so let's do a function for the enemy. Say function shoot player. Of course, first of all, the most important thing I've forgotten to do already, which is to make a global script. And what should we call this? We can call it global. It's probably the easiest thing to call it. Right, global script. And what we need to do in project settings is to go over to autoload, find that global script, choose there, open it, and then add it. This means that this script is always running in the background. I just can't find it now. Where's it gone? Global script, and you don't even need the ready function in this. You can take that out of it. Now this is where we do the signal. So from the enemy script, say we're doing shoot player. So what do we want to do? What we want to do is emit a signal to somewhere else in the game. So first of all, we put in global. Now, as you see, it comes up there with a capital G. Which, if I do this right, global with capital G, then dot, and then we want to emit a signal. And the signal we're going to emit is going to be what makes sense to us for what we're using it for. So shoot player, you could put player underscore maybe shot. It doesn't have to be that long, but there we go. We'll go with that. Save that. Then in the global script, you just simply put signal player shot. Don't have to put it in quotations or anything, that will do fine. Save that. Say we went into the player script now and did a function. In fact, no, we go into the ready script, and now we're calling global again. Global, but this time we're going to connect to the script. And we're going to connect player shots, which comes up right at the top there, comma, and then we're doing it to ourselves because we are the player. And now we're going to make up a function that's going to say I'm shot, whatever. So what do we call it? we'll call it dead. So now we have to create the function dead. And just for, obviously for this, we're just going to print what should we print? Arg. We'll do there. But of course, we haven't called any functions in the enemy yet. So now we need to call that function. Shoot player comes up nicely in the autocomplete, and save that. Now what we should get down here is, if I've done it right, and we run the game, arg, because we've shot the player. So in other words, the enemy signal goes to the global function, player shot, which then sends that to the player. We've gone global connect to that script, and then call the function. Next thing we can do now, say for instance, is say the player. What should we do with him? Health. So function, say health. Okay, we do the global emit signal, and of course we haven't put one in there yet, so let's see what we're going to call it. Health points. This time in the global, we are going to do a signal. So it's got to be spelled exactly the same, obviously, as what you're sending out. Save that. And we'll go into the HUD this time because that's what we're going to call this function. So when we're ready, we're going to again get the global, connect. There you are, it's at the top, health points. Again, we're going to refer to ourself. And what should we call it this time? Add health and health. Function add health. And this time there'll be we'll have to have a variable called health. Variable health. I'm going to set it to equal to 10. So then if we go health minus equals 5. So in other words, now when it connects to that, it's going to call this function, and it's going to deduct health, deduct 5 from that. And again, we will print health. So save that. And in the player, we've called the function health. So now we need to just make that run. So now we should end up with arg and 5. So again, it's emitted the signal health points, gone to the HUD, connected through that, add health, health is -5. Let's see, if another one we can do, then obviously then you can go back to the player and do something to the enemy. Okay, what should we do? Should we go to on the player function enemy damage? This time we'll emit a signal. Damage, just call it damage. Oh, but remember to do that. And in the enemy script, oh no, first of all let's add it to the global. Signal damage. Go to the enemy script and function enemy hit. Obviously this time we're going to connect to the global function. I lost my way. Connect and damage comes up at the top. Now there's two ways you could do this, so let's do a double. Okay, we'll do self. Home and let's call it HUD. Oops, forget to do that. We'll do it in capitals just for a change. Alright, so if we do a function we've got to be the same as that, so HUD. And although we're coming to the enemy, let's send a signal back to the HUD, which would be global again. Global dot emit signal, and we will set enemy damage. Let's remember that. Back to the global, so the other signal is going to be image, save that, and this time in the HUD we're going to be looking for that signal, so it would be global connect, and this time enemy damage, again to ourself, and what should we call it? Enemy health. For some reason we ended up with too many of those. Function. Call it health. And what should we do with it this time? We'll have a variable code spell enemy, we call it health. Do it without the spacing, and so if we call that, oh we have to make it equal to, so make it equal to 100, and then call that there enemy health equals minus, oh no, do it right, minus equals 25. Print enemy health. Bottom one. So this time we're emitting the signal from the player, going to the enemy. So you, for instance, there you might want to set up little flashes or whatever. There's something jumps, and then we're sending it to the HUD. In which case, if you had this set up properly, then you'd have it showing up in the front screen as something through all your other nodes. Enemy health, so we should now have arg5 and 75. If I've done my maths right. No, I haven't. What have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? Enemy health player is emitting the signal damage. Okay, I think I can see what's wrong. I even added a sprite to the player and the enemy to try and slow the game down. The trouble is, because we're not playing a proper game, all the signals are flying back and forth, and the scenes are loading before the signal gets to them. So I even added the HUD in as an instance, and still it wouldn't work. Then, because the signal wouldn't return back to this before everything was loaded to print it out. Whereas now, if you just simply put enemy damage in the player script, emit the signal damage, send it to the HUD script, connect damage to enemy health, and then take 25 off it, print enemy health. As you can see down in the bottom there, you get 75 and 5 and ARG. Same goes for score. You could do score exactly the same way. The score of 0, and then what should we do? So player function score. Not score. And send the global emit signal and just call it score. So CORE score in the global signal score. Hopefully there's enough time for this to register. And in the HUD we will do global connect and scores there. CORE score Java cell and call it add score. Make a function add score. And a variable at the top here for score. Variable score equal to 0. And here we will say score plus equals, just for the hell of it, is 1000. And then we will print score. So hopefully there's enough time for all those signals to go through. No. Why not? Because we didn't call it, have we? Function score, let's call the function. There. We eventually got there. So that's a quick run through on how to do signals. I hope that was some help to you.